what a courtroom setting is supposed to show you is that, of course, people need to be held accountable and like for their actions and what they say. And there's no way that that's ever going to happen if in fact that's not something that's put out in front of other people. Right? Because of course if it was just one or two, well, if it was one person it would never work. But if it was two people in a room that were trying to decide about something, regardless, you can make a decision, but who's to say that the other person's going to stick to that, right? And going to going to be able to to say that that is in fact what it came down to between the resolution or the conclusion between the two of you. But you don't know what the other person's going to do in the end. You have no idea, because people can always switch it up. They can always go one way or the other. They can always just be very, very tricky, right? They can seem one way, and then, of course, behind your back, there they are doing the complete opposite. So, it was supposed to just show you that it's supposed to be stuff that is happening in front of more than just two people, so that you can have an assurance behind the statements that were made, the conclusion that came to be. You need somebody else there to say, well, no, hold up, because I was there and I remember that this is how it ended, or this is what happened. Because if not, of course, there is no real way in which you can assure that you can count on this person, that they're not lying, that they're not tricking you, that they're not being deceitful. Then, at the time when you're having the conversation, or that could happen after. So that's why it's supposed to be in front of a courtroom of people. It's not, though, because you can't control the amount of people that come into the fucking courtroom on every single case, on every single day, every single time. You can't. So of course the room is going to be filled with different people, different times, different amounts. And as long, though, as there is more than 3, of course, it's that's all you were supposed to understand. There just has to be more than 3 in order for people to have. Also, because if there was other people there, right? When in fact you made a deal with somebody, whether or not you have the intention of being truthful when it comes to that or not, just the fact that there's somebody else that could say otherwise that was there could very massively decrease the amount of chances that there are that you are going to be doing something different, something tricky. And it's something that's supposed to be keeping you on the right track, because that, but people don't care, right? They don't give a shit. Oh, what, he's gonna find out? Well, whatever, fuck it then, I don't give a fuck. And that's how people are. When really it should be when you find, if you ever find yourself saying something like that to yourself, really what the question there should be okay, why is it that this makes me so mad? Why is it that this makes me so angry? Try to figure out stuff about you, not the other person, and how the other one works. Because if you don't even know how you work, how are you going to be able to pick up on the fact that this is happening, that's happening? What are you going to be looking at? What are we looking for? What are you going to be seeing? So that was all that it was supposed to tell you, that you in fact should have a big enough crowd around you when making certain decisions and when making certain statements for assurity purposes and accountability. You do not have to form any kind of actual courthouse for any courtroom, because everywhere in life is already technically a courtroom. But you are not always the judge. You're not always the defendant. You're not always the crown. But you're one of them at some point throughout. You're gonna be all of them, but you're gonna be one of them obviously at that time, at a time, because you can't be multiple people at the same time. But you can get to play all of those roles, right? Just in different ways, in different areas of life. And that's because life is school already. There is no such need for sending kids to school because that's actually so detrimental to them. Because think about this. Say that you're at nighttime, you're having a good time with your family. The family's united. You guys, you're talking, you're having fun, you're laughing. You're having a good time. Maybe the dad is explaining this to the kids. The mom maybe, is in the kitchen doing something, and so, or whichever way you want to put. Maybe the mom is teaching the kid something and the dad is somewhere else. But the point is that they are getting a lesson right there. They're getting a lesson about life and the way in which you relate to other people. And for any parent to have the fucking nerve to say, okay, well, sorry kids, we gotta cut it short now because you got school tomorrow. What? You're gonna take this beautiful experience away from your child right at that moment when it's happening because they got school tomorrow? School for what? What are you wanting them to learn that they're not learning right there in front of your fucking goddamn eyes right at that moment already? Oh, because you didn't see that being the case? You see what I'm talking about? Like, can you read a situation? Can you read a room? Can you read a face? I doubt it.